competing at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am this weekend on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, what are you waiting for?
Call George Sink Injury Lawyers at all nines now.
The sooner you call, the sooner they can help.
George Sink Injury Lawyers has the experience to help you get your money faster. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call all nines.
If you overdraw your account...
North America, CSRA Camper Land. We sell fun.
We can't handle a bumper car case, but if you've been hurt in a serious accident, George Sink Injury Lawyers is here for you. We're available to take your call, nights, weekends, 24/7.
The First Alert Team, named best in Georgia. Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Next.
The first Thompson made Vinci Crank.
Cranford's campaign.
Yeah, Richard, I did. This lawsuit was filed just months before he launched his campaign for mayor, a campaign in which he promoted himself as a successful entrepreneur, hoping to help others thrive in the business community just like him. But this lawsuit reveals alleged troubles with financials and broken promises. In political ads Benji Cranford aired locally when he ran for mayor of Thompson last fall, the business owner touted the town and his success.
I've made a good living in Thompson. I want everyone else to know that they can stay in Thompson and have a good living and be successful.
Just 3 months later, this is his business office. Doors locked and online permanently closed. Cranford posted on social media sites and his website about his paving company, C&H, being a cornerstone of the town's economic landscape. But financial troubles and a lawsuit now threaten to shatter his tales of homegrown success. Last July, 4 months before launching his campaign, Fidelity and Deposit Company of Maryland filed a lawsuit against Cranford, as the bonding company, F&D of Maryland, was brought in to guarantee large-scale projects undertaken by Cranford's company would be completed. The lawsuit says Cranford notified the bonding company his business was having money problems. Cranford needed them to step in to pay debts so he could keep his business running. At stake, millions of dollars of contract work that Benji Cranford has with Georgia's Department of Transportation. The lawsuit says that F&D agreed under certain conditions. C&H would continue to help complete the projects by the deadlines with GDOT and give F&D access to all company and personal assets. The lawsuit says Cranford broke the agreement. It alleges C&H Paving failed to complete projects on time, never transferred equipment for use, and didn't give F&D access to the company's financial system. Instead, the lawsuit says Cranford gifted his asphalt plant to one of his sons just 2 months after agreeing to pledge all of his properties to the bonding company. Days after being elected as Thompson's mayor, Cranford appeared to be someone who welcomed an open line of communication.
You should be able to talk to your mayor. He's the representative of the city. He's the one he's like your mama and your daddy. That's who you go to.
But back at the Thompson mayor's business, News 12 tried several times to reach the mayor, including at his downtown office. There, we were approached by a Thompson police officer who said Benji Cranford was not available to talk nor in town. Cranford did eventually respond to a text, and when we called to ask him about the lawsuit, the newly elected mayor, who ran on the slogan of
To grow, unite, and lift.
cut News 12 off mid-sentence, telling us to get to the point. He was very busy and to schedule an appointment with the city clerk to speak to him. Now, we've since called the city clerk twice to set up a time to talk with Mayor Cranford. The city clerk left me a message yesterday saying that she didn't know his schedule and would check on some times and dates and get back with me. When News 12 followed up again today, no one picked up the phone at the clerk's office.
Hopefully that Carl Weathers passed away. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know.
What?
Over Cranford's projects. So it's a story we'll circle back and continue following. Right now, we're going to give you a live look here at a beautiful evening out there at Clarks Hill Lake. There's a big fishing tournament up there. We'll get to Riley Hale there in just a little while.
In just the last 20 minutes, we're getting some new details into the newsroom about the suspicious death investigation in Wrdw that claimed the life of 52-year-old Joseph Keenan. The Aiken County Coroner's Office says this case is now being investigated as a homicide. It comes after the autopsy showed Keenan was shot and died from that wound. Investigators are still asking the public for any details in this case.
And in the last hour, News 12 learning presidential candidate and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley will be making a stop in Aiken next week. You can catch her meet and greet Monday at 2 in the afternoon at the Etheridge Center at USC Aiken. Those doors will open at 1. News 12 plans to have a crew there to get her take on the race against former President Trump.
Great news for drivers heading into the weekend. Most of those railroad crossing repairs that started earlier this week have wrapped up in Richmond and Columbia counties. Sydney Hood live for us right there at Hightower Drive. Sydney, how's it looking?
Well, Hightower Drive is the last road standing here in Columbia County. CSX said this is the last road closed in Columbia County. Richmond County got some great news earlier. All of their railroad crossings opened back up. And I can tell you, after the long week we've had with the many unexpected U-turns we've had to make, there are some happy drivers on the road right now.
Who would have thought we'd be driving over some of these railroads right now?
After I saw the asphalt they had busted up, I said, man, it's going to take a while.
But what a difference a couple of days can make.
5, 6 days not going to hurt nobody. Just got to prepare a little different, move a little different, find a different route. That's just part of life.
And life keeps on moving regardless.
I'm pretty much a stay in my own lane person. Just worry about things I can do. It's just something that had to be done.
Ask anyone, and they'll tell you how glad they are it's done.
Oh, I didn't believe it. When I came in this morning, it was still tore up. And I came out probably, I don't know, about 8 or 9 o'clock, and they had it finished.
Just in time for the weekend.
Luckily, we didn't have no trucks leaving that week hauling none of these big girders out. If we had it, would have been a mess. We would have been in bad shape to try to get a girder out, because normally we usually go straight across the track. And that would have been rough if we had somebody wanting something. We would have been in bad shape.
Did say it will start on Old Evans Road now that Pleasant Home Road is completed. We didn't get a timeline on that, but for right now, you're going to be seeing a lot less of these road closed signs around. So good news is no more unexpected U-turns like we had earlier this week.
That is certainly good news for a lot of drivers out there. Sydney, thanks for those updates.
If your kids go to school in Aiken County, there's a chance for you to meet the 3 finalists for the superintendent's position there. At 1 o'clock tomorrow, there's a community reception so the 3 candidates can introduce themselves and share their vision for the school board. The ceremony is in Aiken High School's new auditorium, so also a good chance for you to check that out as well. To weather now, our chief meteorologist Riley Hale is live at that fishing tournament we've been talking about at Clarks Hill Lake. And Riley, just a great afternoon out there for the college group, right?
Absolutely, guys. It was a great turnout today. We had day 2, so it was the final day, and they did announce a winner, Mr. Anderson Jones. He came in with a 2-day total of 43 pounds. He brought it to 24-pound bag today, so very impressive fish caught. We had over 240 boats fish this tournament. Right now, as you can see, it's a ghost town, so weigh-in ended about an hour ago. Most of these teams have already wrapped up shop and headed out, so it's really impressive to see all 240 of these boats, how they align themselves, get into weigh-in, get the boat out of the water, and then head out. They got it down to a science out here. But we had a great turnout, good crowd out here. If you weren't able to make it out today, they do have the high school series that is going to be this weekend. So they are going to have a practice day tomorrow. The official tournament for the high schoolers and juniors is going to be Sunday, and that weigh-in is going to be 3 p.m. right here at Wildwood Park. And it's a lot of fun. If you are interested in fishing, or maybe you have a young one at home that may want to fish collegiately or at the high school level coming up, hey, bring them out. It's a great experience. They get to interact with the anglers. They get to see the fish that are caught. One cool stat that they shared with us is that over the last 2 days, they have brought in 4,000 pounds of bass. Believe it or not, just absolutely crazy stat. But just love to see it, because each boat has 2 anglers for the most part. They have a team with a coach, and all of them are coming into the CS NCRA spending their money at our restaurants, hotels, gas stations. And we had teams from all over the country, the central and eastern U.S., teams from all the way in South Dakota, a lot of Texas teams. The winner today was from Lander University, and we had a lot of local teams that were in the top 10. USC Union, Lander, as I just mentioned, Georgia Southern had finished out in 4th today, and they actually had 2 local guys that were from Deering and Appling. So it looks like some local knowledge should play out today. But the winner said he had only fished Clarks Hill once before prior to this tournament about a year and a half ago. So his tactics definitely proved to be the best out here over the last 2 days.
Wow, what a day on the lake. More than 240 boats out there on the water.
Incredible, yeah, and huge fish. I mean, that's a lot of fish caught. Riley, thanks for those updates.
Okay, with a handful of spots up for grabs, the Area 1 Wrestling Individual Region Championships underway today at Greenbrier High School. Dan has the latest on our local teams, next in sports.
And despite an increase in need in Aiken, a community group is facing hard decisions. Before that, they're turning to you for help. We'll explain how you can make a difference after this break.
9-9.
We have some breaking news out of Aiken. A former Aiken public safety officer faces assault and battery charges. SLED says they're charging 34-year-old Ashton Posey. The arrest warrant says in early October, Posey hit a victim on the head more than once while they were being removed from a police cruiser after a chase. SLED says they were asked to investigate by the Aiken Department of Public Safety. A growing issue in Aiken, new data from the recent point-in-time homeless count shows from 2019 to 2024, the number of people facing homelessness in Aiken has jumped by more than 600%.
Now the Salvation Army in Aiken is looking to connect with the community to help serve those in need. Taylor Martin looks at what that means.
Feeding, housing, and clothing Aiken's homeless population has its roadblocks. As the only emergency shelter in the city, the Salvation Army knows this all too well.
It is full every single night.
With inflation, they say costs to serve the community have gone up between 20 to 55%.
So we've seen an increase at the soup kitchen, probably 10 times more than I did last year. And it's not only just homeless people, it's people that are working. They're coming on their lunch break.
And they need your help.
We're not making that budget this year, and so we are having to make some hard decisions.
Making sandwiches, volunteering at the soup kitchen, or volunteering at the shelter.
But it's really a personable type of volunteering because the clients are going to want to talk, they're going to want to share, and so we're looking for charismatic people willing to serve.
Well, they've already had some people step up to help feed the community with these bags of food.
What we haven't seen an influx of is not even one volunteer willing to come in and sit with a paid staff member so that we have 2 people on shift.
There are many ways you can play an active part in serving families in need.
We all, I think, one paycheck away from being homeless. I think we have to change our perspective of how we look at people.
The Salvation Army says they could also use your donations.
And we're going to have some ways for you to help put on our website, wrdw.com.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
1 week after finishing in 2nd place at the State Team Duels Championships, the Greenbrier girls wrestling team had the chance to host the Individual Region Championships today. With a handful of spots for sectionals up for grabs, wrestlers from Greenbrier, Evans, Lakeside, Harlem, Westside, and a bunch of other schools were all in attendance. The top 4 finishers in each weight class are moving on to sectionals, and like they've done all season long, the Wolfpack took care of business on the mat. All 14 members of the Greenbriers girls wrestling team qualified for sectionals, which is incredible. I'll have the full list of finalists for you tonight at 11. Shifting gears to baseball, the Green Jackets have announced another matchup for the SRP Park College Showcase. On March 12th, the number 12 South Carolina Gamecocks will be in town, taking on the Georgia State Panthers. In 2023, the Gamecocks made it all the way to the Super Regionals in Gainesville and were a handful of wins away from going to the College Baseball World Series. With the All-Star break quickly approaching, the Atlanta Hawks will be inside State Farm Arena tonight for a showdown with the Phoenix Suns. You can watch that game on our sister station, the CW, between DeJounte Murray, his buzzer beater against the Heat a couple of weeks ago, and Luka Doncic scoring 73 points last night. It feels like something crazy always happens when the Hawks play on the CW, so make sure to tune in tonight at 7:30.
Dan, thanks so much. Affordable housing, opioid abuse, homelessness, just a few of the big issues Augusta Mayor Garnett Johnson talked about in his recent State of the City address. I sat down with the mayor in this week's one-on-one.
Thank you for that, Nora. We are looking at beautiful sky conditions still from Clarks Hill Lake as the sun has now set, and these temperatures are at about the low 60s from Bushfield. So we are starting that slow decline of temperatures. A beautiful look outside of our studios does show traffic flowing nicely along with Riverwatch Parkway and Interstate 20. Temperatures still around 60 for most locations, so we are starting to cool things off, and we are going to see those temperatures continue to fall down towards the upper 30s and low 40s by tomorrow morning. But a pretty beautiful setup for your Saturday. Sunday, we start to look for more cloud cover, winds picking up, and also looking at rainfall chances pushing in late Sunday into your Monday. Stays breezy for your Monday as well, but getting into Tuesday and Wednesday, we do see some good improvement and lots of sunshine making a return.
Miguel, thanks so much. Our next live update comes at 7 o'clock on 26 News.
Then we're back with more News 12 tonight at 11. Have a great night. At the CBS Evening News, we focus on solutions, finding solutions to help people understand what are the right choices to make for you and your